Hey guys, this is just a little update on my Firebird. Haven't really done anything with it lately, but I worked on it all day yesterday. I took the passenger side door off, and I'm going to get some new hinges and strikers for this car. The hinges were pretty beat up. Started cleaning all the stuff out of the interior. Found some rust holes that I didn't know were there. There's a couple. One right there. A couple over on that side. And right up in here, there's a few. But I got to take care of that before I can go any further. I want to get this dash stripped down and clean up all this rust on the dash and up in the window channel area. It's just surface rust up there, but I don't know about that spot right there. It might be a little bit of a challenge. I'll get it cleaned up as much as I can and see if there's any metal that needs to be replaced. The rest of it should be fine. Yesterday and last week I started working on the front sheet metal. I got the front suspension done. It looks really good. Got my stainless steel brake line kit for it. Installed the first half of the rear section, and I installed the fronts, but the loop that goes underneath on the frame, the brake line is not really bent the way it's supposed to be, so I got to figure out what I got to do with that. So it hangs out way. See, this should be right in that area, but I think this loop's a little longer than it's supposed to be. I can bend it, but I don't really want to do that. I'll have to take it out and see if I can bend it underneath to make it shorter. Tubular A-arms are all done. The sway bar links are all in. I had to get longer sway bar links because with those dropped, with the tubular A-arms, the location where it mounts is lower in the A-arm. So the sway bar basically was right in line with that steering arm bolt, and you couldn't steer the car, so I got a 2-inch longer sway bar link, and it looks really good. I need to switch that bolt around for the steering arm. It's supposed to be in the back, the long one, and the short one's supposed to be in the front, just like this side is. So, and then I'll probably just cut off whatever's left that doesn't need to be there. I've taken the fenders off. Took this door off. In an earlier video you can see where that door was completely covered with surface rust in this area all the way around, because before I parked the car, I had stripped that door down and it never got sealed or primed or anything, so I took that all out, ground all that rust off of it, prepped it with the metal prep, and I coated it with epoxy primer. Excuse me. And I did the door, the outside of the door. It's all in epoxy. It looks really good. Did some body work on it while I had it off, so it's just roughed in right now. There's a little spot. I don't know if you can see it in there, but right here, I broke through it into bare metal. So these doors, I don't know about these doors. These are, trying to get this body line is just a nightmare, because this body line starts out nice and sharp and then kind of fades off into the door right in this area. So not exactly sure where it's supposed to fade off is kind of a hard part, but I think it looks pretty good right now. Painted the upper valance, cleaned it, and did the epoxy prime on that. Epoxy primed the back side of the fenders in this area, so just prevent it from rusting any more than it was. It had some rust right on the back side, right in the edges and stuff, so I cleaned all that off. Epoxy primed the outside of this fender and was working on that fender. I had some issues. It has a dent right here that I kind of put some mud over it, some Bondo, whatever you want to call it. And it had a couple rust holes. One right here, one right in here, and one down in here. Basically what somebody had done in the past was there was a square cut out that of metal out of there, and they just filled it full of fiberglass. So So I dug all that out, and it had a straight line coming across that was all rusted. So I was like, that's kind of weird. So I ground it all out and I welded some metal into it, and just getting it all cleaned up and ready to go. I'm taking these air extractors off, and they're not really from the left side to the right side. I mean, they look fine, but they're not really straight on both sides. So this side looks, you know, with this body line, it looks more correct. But this one here, you can see it's at more of an angle. So it doesn't quite look quite right. But I'm going to remount those and straighten those out to where they look the same on both sides. For right now, what I think I'm going to do is get all the interior cleaned up, the package tray, clean the floor off real good, get up in there and get that back window out. It's just sitting there. Get all this insulation, or the stuff out. It's Salt Factory underlayment or sound deadener, or whatever you want to call it. It's still there, but it's got some mold growing on it. So I don't know what I'll do about that, but get all that taken care of, get this all cleaned up, and get it ready for paint. I'm missing one of these corner pieces that go right, where is it? That corner piece that goes right on that side. I'm missing one of those, so I gotta find one. I think I got that in my barn somewhere. I can scavenge off another body that I have sitting out there. Get all this stuff cleaned up, get the interior cleaned out, take the steering wheel out, and get it all cleaned up. The funny thing is when I took the it had the factory floor sound deadener in it. When I took it off the driver's side, and one of these little holes right here, there was a key. The ignition key was sitting in there, and it's in the ignition now. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and it is the right key for the car. So I just thought it was weird that it would be underneath that, because it had never been taken apart before, and there was just a key laying there. But I have some rust issues on the floor pans, and I'm going to see if I can clean all that out and see if I can patch, you know, if I can just weld up the holes, I'll do that. But if I can't, I'll just have to go in there and patch some of it. I'm real happy with the car. It's coming along pretty good. Engine's pretty much done. I've been working on the belt system. The belts didn't really line up right, so I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. I had some spacers for the upper water pump pulley, which made it line up with the crank pulley better, but the power steering bracket and stuff like that, they didn't really line up right. It would have thrown the belts, so I'm working on rectifying that problem, because this has never been actually ran. The motor's been ran, but it's never been on the road, so I got to figure out what to do about that. Maybe I can just, you know, it's like a 1/4 inch off, so I can just space them out, I guess, and go from there. I'm going to go ahead and put the original chrome valve covers on, one of them sitting over in that window, and get the correct ram air tube that goes from the ram air breather tube that goes from the center of the valve cover up under into this hole here. I'm going to get that. Making some progress. Really happy about the 14x7 wheels fitting on the disc brakes. Still got to do the back side, but I'm making some progress. Get this fender in epoxy primer and get it back on the car, and then I'm going to hopefully get this door off this weekend and clean the back side of it and get it in epoxy primer as well, so both doors and all the front end will be in epoxy. And then once I get to the stage that I can start doing some sanding on the body, I had a spot right there too. What happened with that was in my old shop, a friend of mine was crawling up around in the rafters, and a door panel fell out of the rafters and hit the car right about here and put a big dent in it. So I got it out as much as I can and just spread some mud over it. I had fixed it before, but it cracked because it's been sitting outside for so long. Got some issues to work on with the spoiler. There's a little crack right here I need to fix. Not sure what to do about that yet, but I need to sand this all down. It's got some bubbles in the paint. It's fiberglass. It's got some bubbles in the paint, so I'm going to sand that down. Maybe I can grind that out and fill it in with some short strand fiberglass or something. But I'll get that all cleaned up. The deck lid looks really good. The trunk area looks good. Get all the crap out of there and see how the floor of the trunk looks, because I haven't looked in there in a while. So, but it looks pretty good so far. I'm going to get some new door hinges today and hopefully some strikers if the place I think has them in town, but I don't know. There's the upper hood pan, air cleaner bracket. Still waiting on ordering that hood, so that bolts to the top of the hood, and that ring, the air cleaner sits inside there and it holds it in place. So, and I got the ram air tubes also that go inside the head. They go from the front of the hood to the back of the hood. And clean out this trunk today. Get all this stuff out of here. Got a couple dad pieces. That one doesn't look actually that bad. At least it's got the factory radio hole still in it, but that one corner is kind of broke. So maybe I'll have to order a new one of those. What I did notice is somebody had cut the dash metal piece for a den mount type stereo or larger stereo or something, so hopefully I can fix that. You get this wiring out of here and start cleaning it up and go from there. Anyway, thanks for watching my videos, and have a good day.